Welcome back. I'm Emily at Emily's podcast, Tribute to All Little Angels. Part 1, Episode 8 of Refresh Our Memory. May 1st, 2021, my friend Patty and I continued to work on the approach for the ad for the newspaper. We need the attention. She asked me, maybe we need to go at it another way. Throughout this story, you have been telling the whole story. Every word, every step, every avenue you have traveled trying to get the attention to get this resolved. She said maybe we should approach it with a question. And of course, I'm game for anything and everything that will work. Patty said maybe something like, has this happened to you? Or what would you do if? Then go on by saying, having laid a loved one, a dear one to rest, to have floodwater move the headstones, never knowing where your loved ones are. Patty suggested I try doing something like that. I told Patty yes, all right, and that does sound like a good idea. Patty said, you choose how you want to write it. Madison and I had discussed it, and we did choose, has this happened to you? Patty asked me, after you write it out, read it to Madison and see what she says and call me back. I read it to Madison. Madison thought it sounded good. I then called Patty back and I told her what Madison's decision was. Patty requested me to look at the information of how much and what day is best. And of course, I will do that. And Patty and Madison, I appreciate your help. May 2nd, 2021. Today I'm starting my day out on a positive note. Patty and I did work on the ad of 40 words, and I'm so grateful for that. Then later this afternoon, Madison and I went to the cemetery, and the grounds has water laying on it, so there was no getting out of the car. Megan's flowers are stuck in the ground. It's like she holds on to them. Throughout the rain and the floods of that area, the flowers stay. And of course, I took pictures. And as I'm looking at some of the pictures, I saw another difference from early year pictures to the present time. And I'm wishing someone's conscience will bother them, that they want to say something of what they know. Because I can believe, you can believe, someone knows something. What a wish, huh? After visiting with Megan and Wyatt, we left the cemetery. And when I arrived home, Patty had messaged. She said, I will help you tomorrow with the ad, see what you can find out of when and what days are best, and I will call you tomorrow. Ask also what it would take to put the ad in the sample paper. And yes, I will do that the first thing in the morning. But later this evening, I didn't wait until morning. I checked to see what information I could find. I found 5 pages of information and I sent it to Patty. I told her to ignore it tonight, to look at it in the morning. But because I asked her to do that, doesn't mean she will. The information consisted of the publisher's name, phone numbers, times of business hours, letter to the editor, and their email addresses. And I'm praying this information is exactly what we need. May 3rd, 2021, 9:28 a.m., Patty called. She said, I looked at the information you sent, and yes, that's exactly what we need. And I'm happy to hear that. This afternoon, Madison is also at work helping. She sent emails to Aaron Brockovich. I say emails because there are 2 different email addresses. When Madison tried to send the email to Aaron, the information, the file, was too large to send. So Madison is editing and taking some of the pictures out of the information for the file to send. And you two girls are awesome. I appreciate it all. May 4th, 2021. Today I am on an emotional ride. As the day moves on, it didn't seem to get any better. On most days I open my eyes, I cry. I'm emotionally drained. Patty called to talk about calling the Epic Times newspaper's office, but she said you can't do anything over the phone anymore. You have to email them, and it might be best for you to tell the story through an email. That way you won't cry trying to tell it. I said that is my biggest problem. It's so heartbreaking. It's so hurtful. And when I have to talk about it, especially the part of them digging the headstone up, it kills me. And of course, Patty understands. This afternoon, I sent 2 different emails to the newspaper. One was sent to feedback, and the other was sent to the newsroom. May 5th, 2021. I'm feeling the effects of the emotional day yesterday. The breaking down, a meltdown, whatever anyone calls it. I'm feeling it today. But as I'm here, I'm going to keep going. This story needs to be told, and I will make sure it gets told over and over again, as I promised Megan and the rest of them. 9:19 a.m. As I'm looking through emails this morning and clearing out the trash ones, I noticed a message from the Epic Times newspaper, and I was happy to see it and read it. I messaged Patty to ask her what's next. Patty asked, "Did you ask how much for a 40-word ad and discuss the regions and duration of the ad?" Patty said, "After you get prices and narrow down what you are willing to pay, let me know, and I will then step in and try for the ad to be in the sample paper." I did send the email to the woman from the newspaper, and I mentioned wanting to put the ad in the newspaper. I asked how much a 40-word ad would cost, and also what region would it travel, and what days are the best days for the most readers. I sent it to a lady named Joe. At 3:07 p.m., Joe from the Epic Times newspaper emailed me back. She got to the points I had asked. She emailed me saying, "Hi, Emily. It's very nice to meet you here. Oklahoma is the southern edition of Epic Times. Our paper is published every Wednesday. It's a weekly paper. For an ad of 40 words, it should be in the classified section. The fee is $300, and your ad runs 4 consecutive weeks. If you want to move forward, please send me the ad content before tomorrow at noon, and we can start running your ad next week, May 12th. May 7th, 2021. I'm waiting to hear back from Patty before we move forward. 8:12 a.m., I receive a message from Joe at Epic Times. She was asking to know if I had any further questions. Would you like to move forward to book a space? To please let her know. Joe. I didn't see her message, though, until 11:48 a.m. I replied to Joe asking if I could get back with her, and of course, she was fine with that, and I want to get the ad running the following week. Joe replied back, giving me an example. If I want the ad to run on May 19th, I would need to send it to her by May 14th. And that is good information to know. At 6:01 p.m. this evening, Madison, Zoe, and I went to the cemetery. There is water laying on the grounds. I did take pictures. We sat there a little bit because there's no reason to get out of the car if you can't get close to the headstones. Sad, but true. After we arrived back home, Madison and Zoe went to a game at school, and I sat down to watch a segment on TV. And on the program, there was a powerful lawyer's name that was mentioned, and I wrote it down. I also wrote down a reporter's name, and I'm thinking about sending them a file because, after all, it can't hurt. I don't know if it will help, but certainly can't hurt. May 8, 2021, 11:16 a.m., I called Patty to check in with her about the information I sent her from the newspaper. We talked a while about Joe at the paper. Patty said she was going to edit the ad and let me know tomorrow what to do next. May 9th, 2021. It's Mother's Day. It's also 6 years since this nightmare started. And to me, to a few of us, it is absolutely crazy that they are and have been ignoring the situation, avoiding the situation. But yet, here we are, doing anything and everything we can to get this recognized for Megan and what they have done. And we will continue to do whatever it takes. May 7th, 2015, we have flood. May 9th, 2015, I found the headstones moved, and finding that has been a living hell since, and none of them acknowledges it. May 10th, 2021, when my eyes open this morning, I'm fighting back tears. I force myself not to cry. I stopped myself and thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I have to stay positive. I have to stay strong. I have to keep fighting. Today at 12:22 p.m., I started separating some more papers and getting copies of papers done to get more files together. I put 10 more files together. I have 4 addresses right now, but I'm hoping more addresses will come to me, or one of them finds it in their heart to get in touch with us. At 3:11 p.m. this afternoon, Madison and I left to go to the cemetery. And as I got close to the cemetery, I could see about 5 city trucks sitting by the pavilion that sits on the center street north in the cemetery. I didn't bother even entering the cemetery. I drove on. We will drive back by the cemetery after 5 p.m. Later this evening at 8:39 p.m., Madison tried to send the files again to Erin Brockovich, but this time the email addresses were no longer found. So we sent it to her through the mail, because like I've said, if I can't send it through email, I will send it through mail. We will try anything, and hopefully Erin will receive it. May 11th, 2021. Today it has been 4 weeks since Nancy Gray should have received her file. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and of course I pray every day. Today will be the day. 6:31 p.m. It's been raining all day. It's dreary out. So we did not make it to the cemetery today. But we know it will be flooded. And that hurts my heart. But I keep fighting for this, for them. May 13, 2021, 10:43 a.m. Patty called saying, I've tried calling the Epic Times anyway. I talked to someone this time, but she told me I have to email and someone will get back to me. Patty said, so I sent an email and I will wait on their response. May 15, 2021. Today I start my day sick. I laid around, and as I laid there, a few good thoughts came to mind of what to do next. I asked Madison to send the information to Kathleen Zellner's office. Madison did send it, and I felt good for reaching out, and I pray she responds. Madison did mention pictures went with this file, so I'm happy to know that also. Madison double-checked to make sure the email sent, and yes, it was good to know it did send. May 16, 2021. It's been raining again today, and we want to go to the cemetery, but we know it will be flooded, and I know before I even go, I have to prepare myself of water laying on the grounds, even after the drains were fixed. But we went anyway to just drive through, and yes, it is flooded. I took pictures, and we checked on things, and after getting back home, I worked on the files to be sent out. I'm going back and forth as to whether I should send files to people I've sent to already, to resend, or send to a new name, someone we haven't sent to yet. And I will pray about that. As I'm looking at pictures, it's unreal that the more I look, the more differences I find. For an example, the rock headstone that laid west of the south tree, it had red bricks laid around it for so many years. So many years. I have pictures to show that. But the day I found the headstones moved, I started taking pictures. When I looked at the pictures taken on May 9, 2015, the red bricks that laid around that rock headstone west of the south tree, in the pictures, you can see the red bricks laying in the grass between where the headstones were set to rest and where the headstones were moved to. It does show in the pictures. I even noticed the distance between the existing tree and the area they say they cut down the tree, the south tree at. The distance would be too close together. The existing tree is the south tree, and the north tree was cut out in 2010, 2011. Google Earth explains. This is when I noticed also the small drain they set in on October 31st, 2019. The street sets higher than the drain is higher than the ground, and the ground floods. This is what I'm talking about, and it makes me sick. It pisses me off. But I know truth always finds a way to be told and heard. And I want to hear their story. If my story is being ignored, for whatever reason, what's their story? May 17, 2021. This afternoon, after talking with Patty, we agreed the ad is ready to be sent, to be advertised. So this is great news. Just another step closer, and I appreciate it all. Madison and I also went to the cemetery today, and as we were leaving the house, Madison went to check the mail. When she got in the car with the mail, she handed it to me, and I said, "Oh no." Madison and Zoe said, "What?" I said, "I received the letter back I sent out. It was one of the 2 letters I sent to Tyler Perry. Looking at the envelope, though, we may have sent the letter to the wrong location, but I will keep trying." At 3:20 p.m., Joe from Epic Times newspaper emailed me. She's asking if we were ready to start, and I emailed her back, "Yes, I will be ready Wednesday to get the ad out for the following Wednesday." Joe responded with, "I look forward to receiving your content." May 18, 2021, 9:07 a.m. Patty is having a problem sending emails to Epic Times. She sent me the name she was sending to. She was spelling it incorrect. Epic Times, E-P-I-C Times, and the correct spelling is E-P-O-C-H Times. A simple mistake, but she corrected it and the email went through. Today also a thought came to mind. I'm going to send the files to each governor surrounding the state of Oklahoma. I keep hearing from different people. Keep putting it out there. Keep doing what you're doing. So yes, I will send to the governors of Texas, New Mexico, Arkansas, Kansas, Colorado, and Missouri. I also looked up the information to contact Kendra Horn, the former state representative. I also looked up for the current state representative, Stephanie Weiss. I'm hoping one of them will help us endorse a new law to get something done. And I would greatly appreciate any and all help. May 19, 2021, 8:15 a.m. Patty called this morning to let me know she hasn't received any message back yet. I asked her to please keep sending it. We talked about sending the ad in, and when we were done talking, I sat and thought a moment of how to send the ad. I asked myself, should I send a paragraph telling a little bit about the storyline? I talked with Madison about that, and she said, I think you should. You could give her a little detail in case she may have to edit it. She can add some of what you sent her. And I thought for a second, and I thought that was some good advice. So together, Madison and I typed it out, the message on my computer, and Madison sent it to Joe at 8:23 p.m. at Epic Times newspaper. When it was sent, I felt a weight lift off me. And of course, I get emotional, but I was happy it was sent. May 20th, 2021. This morning, my mind is running a mile a minute at what else I could be doing. For some reason, I feel I'm limited. At 8:21 a.m., I receive an email from Joe at Epic Times. Joe is consoling of this situation. She thinks it is terrible, which it is. She said, I will arrange this ad placement for you in the Southern Edition newspaper, then asked me to sign for the approval. Madison has copied pictures and papers to make more files to be able to send out. And I thank you, Madison, for all your help. Really, I greatly appreciate it. This morning, I kept thinking I need to slow down and concentrate on getting the ad and application sent back to Joe at Epic Times. At 2:01 p.m., the application and ad was sent to Joe. Joe replied, thanking me, and said she would schedule next week for publishing. That was sent at 2:24 p.m. The ad is submitting and will be ready for the paper next Wednesday, May 26th to June 16th, 2021. I then receive a message saying from the bank that they will not send payment without approval. I gave approval to send the funds and it went through. And I pray this ad works. We had used 2 other papers back in 2020, but as I was told, not a lot of people read the newspaper anymore. And that's sad, but I had to try. Like I said, I have to try everything because I hope it catches someone's attention. Thank you for listening. Stay kind with your words.